When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're the home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not-so-secret Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds and Skims use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/start selling, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/start selling to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/start selling.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 17, Episode 13, titled Drag Family Makeover. Is that what it's called? I think
it's Drag Baby Mamas or something like that.
Yeah. I put it. I didn't know what the title was, and I put a placeholder, and then forgot to go fix it.
The level
My name
of
is Joe
unprofessionalism.
Batanz. I know, and I am joined, as always, by one filial co-host from the podcast. Bravo, effing bravo. Please say...
She's feeling the boobs. She's feeling the boobs.
To Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan. How are you?
Hey, Joe.
Wait, what did you just laugh at? We've exposed that I'm not playing any audio right now.
How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
That's great.
I'm just feeling a little delicious right here, over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot delicious?
No, cut to Nathan trots away on his horse.
That's funny.
By the way, if you want to know what we're talking about, there's a very easy way to know what we're talking about, and that is to sign up for Patreon. Become an afterthought. That's what we call the people who support us. They're not called Patreon supporters, even though I do refer to them sometimes. They're just called afterthoughts, but it's like THOTS, the thoughts. What's funny is I'll have serious conversations with other hosts about, something. I'm like, ugh, and the afterthoughts.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard you call them other things.
Oh, depends on who it is. Anyway, but there's, you know what? I was going to write down all the things that are going on here. Lot going on. If you were listening to the Tea on the public feed, there's a new episode coming up. By the way, the Tea is an amazing show. And if you're not listening to it, you're missing out. We're going to discuss Lori's wedding. And if you're not on the exclusive tier, you're really missing out because Lori chose the most boring stories from her wedding to tell on the public feed version of the show. Lori even called me.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, my stories were boring. And I'm like, yeah, you talked about changing lanes.
For a long time, I felt like I was there.
Yeah, I like how she goes like, Missy, I just got married, and I'm going to discuss it for the first time on a podcast. What I'm going to talk about? Oh, changing lanes, and a boutonniere.
Yeah,
and you're like, this is the story. But anyway, the exclusive tier had some really good shit. Why? Because I was telling the stories.
Yeah.
Speaking of, just between us girls, executive tier level and above, Patreon.com. They got the stories from the wedding that were great. If you want to do that, you can also do Apple Podcasts, where not only Apple Podcasts, when you subscribe, you get Just Between Us Girls, you also get the full show, commercial-free, total show. It's a whole package deal right there, apple.com. You just pay for your Apple account, and that's it. Now, what's funny, I want to tell Nathan a funny story. You guys should understand this, is I told a pretty scandalous story about something that happened to me at Lori's wedding.
I can't stop thinking about it.
Really?
Not in that way. It's just...
Yeah, I was like, weird. But what's funny is I had texted my ex, so I'll say, And remember I told you, I said I warned him about the exclusive tier bonus show of the tea.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, got it. He didn't say whether he'd listen or not. He goes, got it. Got the message. And then I had to go, oh, also, because then we went into even more graphic, explicit detail on Just Between Us Girls.
Oh, yeah.
This past week. It was crazy. Sign up. People have emailed me, and they've been emailing me all season, but it's not until this week that I go, you know what? We really are kind of on fire right now at Drag Race Recap. I don't know how I do it. And I'm not saying it to flatter myself. I'm saying that because I legitimately don't know how I do it. Because I have this job and I have this job and another job. I'm like a Jamaican over here. And then also putting this all together.
Uh-huh.
Blackstone told me to say that.
Okay.
Anyway, Nathan, you're adding nothing to the show, so I don't know how that's any different. Do you have anything to say?
No, I was just listening about how the show's so successful because of everything you do, and I don't know how you do it. And I was like, oh.
No, but
it's a one-man show, apparently. I'll just sit here in silence.
I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean the show. I meant the whole network right now, the content we're putting out. And I don't know how we're handling it. There's so much going on.
And yet, on the show, we're actually recapping. It's the opposite. It's never been less to talk about. It's never been less.
I really don't know what we're going to, because this episode was just all hugs and kisses. And I do have a big takeaway, but we'll talk about it right after this break. We will be back soon after break. Check it out.
When was the last time you needed to go to a doctor, but you pushed it off? Made the excuse that you can't find your insurance card, or you'd rather spend the time trying a new Pilates class, or getting a manicure, or thought health advice from social media was good enough. I think we've all been there. Booking a doctor appointment can feel just so daunting. But thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book your appointment. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, and are a good fit for any medical need you may have. And with hundreds of verified patient reviews, you can find the type of care and support you're looking for. From good bedside manner to fast wait times to doctors with the best listening skills. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/female to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/female. ZocDoc.com/female.
Hear that? It's SpringFest savings calling your name. Only at Lowe's. Right now, get a free Select Ego 56-volt battery when you buy a Select Ego trimmer, blower, or mower. Plus, get your choice of any 2 bags of Miracle-Gro organic soil mix for only $16. Shop these can't-miss deals in-store or online today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 4/2. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Excludes Hawaii.
It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from McDonald's, Popeyes, Pizza Hut, Wendy's, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a hamburger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
And we are back. This week, the girls spill the tea by answering questions about each other. And for this week's Maxi Challenge, the queens will make over their parents. In the end, Sam Starr is named the winner of the challenge, while Anya Nerve and Jules Sparkles are placed in the bottom 2. After a lip-sync battle for their lives, both queens are told, Shantae, you stay. Nathan, Patrick, Brown, what did you think of that lip-sync, and were the right queens in the bottom?
Well, I thought the lip sync was pretty good. They were both pretty evenly matched. I think I enjoyed Jules a little bit more than Anya until Anya kicked the wig, and I was like, well, that's fun. And yeah, I think they both deserve to be in the bottom. Their looks weren't as cohesive or as good as the others.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. The lip sync was pretty good. It was pretty. You know what's funny is you could tell that they were intentionally showing you as evenly matched. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be a double Shantae. You could tell, and not just be. And it was a good lip sync. It wasn't one of the greatest lip syncs of all time, but it was a good lip sync. You could tell that's where the energy was going, and I was like, it'd be kind of shitty to send someone home in front of their parent.
Yeah.
And so the point is that it was worthy of it. It deserved it. It happened. It was a decent lip sync. Let's move on. They both they were there's only 5 left, so yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they were the 2 weaker ones. What was your big takeaway this episode, Nathan Patrick Brown?
My takeaway is on that double save, because I heard it was going to be a double save before I watched the episode, and I was kind of like, ugh, like I would have thought.
Oh, since wait, you already heard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, that was spoiled. But yeah, I thought because of the stupid fucking dunk tank, and that we'd already had like 2 non-eliminations this season.
Mm-hmm.
As well as like the opening where no one went home. I thought maybe we wouldn't have a double save this season, and I was kind of happy about that. And so when I heard it was going to be a double save, I was like, fuck this. But then I watched the episode and I was like, you know what? The vibes were high. It wouldn't have felt right to send someone home in that context. And I also think the top 5 aren't really that interesting. So giving them an extra week of backstory and character development is probably a good idea to help them build their cases for like the finale.
Good. Wait, hold on for a second. This is episode 13. They've had 13 episodes.
Yeah, and they're still not super interesting, but at least I've seen a bit more of Lexi this week.
So you
I've seen a
think
bit
one more
of
week
Jules.
is going to like convince you?
I think someone like Jules, if she makes it to a top 4 or whatever, she can at least say like, yeah, I only won once, but I slayed this lip sync and I had a memorable father interaction. You know, like there's a little bit extra.
I think my big takeaway is Lexi's mom.
What about her?
I want to take her away. No, is I had this, and I'll just discuss her right here. Is I had this opinion, okay, and then I like to, in like my downtime between watching the episode and recording the episode, I like to just it's not anything serious. It used to be serious. Now it's just a casual perusal of what the zeitgeist is feeling on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this post that was along the lines of like, leave Lexi's mom alone. Oh, no, first of all, I want to get into this.
Do you mean Lexi's mom or Susie's?
No, Lexi's mom. They were like, and the person says the most ridiculous shit.
Well, it's Reddit.
They were like, I'm sick of what everyone is saying about Lexi's mom because they clearly I don't remember what it was, where they were saying things where it was like, well, we know that she was being sincere because she wouldn't do that. A person wouldn't do that. I'm like,
I think you've given us the gist. I feel like I've read it.
Well, yeah. The reason I was trying to find it is she did say something stupid like, everyone's saying she's just a narcissist and a sociopath.
What?
And she just did it for yeah, wait, hold on. Because she's not that, they're not wrong. And because she did it for TV, but why would someone do that? So it's obviously not true. I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why is it obviously not true? Because she didn't seem, it was the stupidest. I wish I could find it. And you know what? I'll try and find it before Verlaska Thoughts. I'll bring it back. But the point is, I was like, oh, do I have to rethink my thing here? And look, I don't know Lexi's mom. I don't know Lexi. So I can't diagnose. I don't know anything about this Lexi's mom. I don't know anything about the way she's feeling. But here's what I'll tell you.
Yeah?
I think it's very telling to me. To me, it seems like the behavior of a total narcissist mom, what she did.
And which is what?
Which is because Lexi is like so touched that she's all like, I can't believe she's actually using my correct pronouns. And if we didn't know the story, the mom had kicked her out of the house when she was 18. Clearly, Lexi has sought the approval of her mother, and her mother never gave her that approval. Okay. But now Lexi's on television and the mom has a chance to go on television. And because it's not like, look, guys, they haven't been gone for months and the mom's been watching her on TV. She's been gone about 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Last time she saw her mom was using he, him pronouns. And you're telling me, and all of a sudden, in these few weeks, with TV cameras on her and RuPaul there and all of them there, and now she's using the correct pronouns, and you think all of a sudden this is the real her? It's not the real her. It's a total farce what's happening here. And look, I don't know. I don't know. But it just seems very odd that this huge thing that Lexi's wanted, the woman never respected, all of a sudden she does on TV in front of cameras.
See, I kind of think it might be the other way around. It might be Lexi pushing that narrative. Because every time she used the correct pronoun, Lexi would go, she just used my right pronoun. In the workroom and on the stage. When she did it again on the main stage, she goes, she just said she. And it's like she kept calling attention to it. And I was like, maybe Lexi's just, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was sweet at the time, but now that you've put all this, like, manipulation into my head, I'm like, I don't know.
Like I said, look, if the woman had not, her daughter was homeless, and she kicked her out. Well, she kicked her out, and then she was homeless. But what I'm saying is, I don't know any. I'm admitting that I don't know. It just seems very suspicious. And look, we think Lexi's a crazy person. Do you think a crazy person comes from a sane person? I mean, actually, Lexi acts like a person who had a narcissistic mother and she was just starving for her attention. And so many things she's doing is just look at me, pay attention, validate me from her mom.
Shit, maybe. I just love that this Redditor is now going to hear this and be like, no, that wasn't the point of my post.
I wish I could find it, but I should have found it before I was on the air.
Well, see, because when you first started talking, I saw the ones bitching about Susie's mum. So I thought maybe you were going to talk about that.
Susie's mom is a trickier one. Because you could easily brush it off as she was just really frightened by the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that there is a likelihood because then there's, later in the workroom, Susie's like, I wish my mom loved me or whatever she said, right?
Yeah.
So there's clearly some sort of coldness there. She seems like a cold person, but and look at this Susie Toot. She's another one that's starving for the mom's attention.
Yeah.
She's another one who's like named her character after her mom.
Yeah, quite like literally.
Yeah. Was literally, I'm saying literally because you said it, but like named the character after her mom, is dancing and singing like a fool, has to always prove that she's smart, won't stop talking about how she went to Stanford, always talking about how she's going to use her face card to get into places for free, talking about how tacos aren't a thing in Mexico.
What a monster.
There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts, Nathan? Any other big takeaways?
No.
All right, so this is the moment now where we're going to say goodbye to the public feed. You will get a curated version of the show starting now. All right, now it's actually time for the looks. I actually intentionally asked, this is the first time, I asked Blackstone not to weigh in. I don't know why. Maybe because the contestants signed up for it. I don't know. No one deserves that kind of abuse, but the parents especially don't. So I go, who can be sweet? Who can be nice?
Oh, no.
Who can be giving? And that's Helen Schaefer-Gray. Look, I know. Look, Blackstone wasn't upset. He was going away on a vacation on a farm in Germany for the week, so he was fine.
He goes to Germany a lot. He
does. It's not a short flight. And then he's going to some farm in Germany. It's really weird. And so Helen sent me a thing. Each one is really long.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So I'm going to tell you, if she starts going on a tangent, we're just going to talk over her.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to hear your thoughts on the looks and whatnot. So let me go over to the looks. The first one we have is Susie Toot. Susie Toot. All right, here we go.
Oh, exquisite. The bold use of black and white stripes is simply striking, evoking the golden age of animation with such flair. There's a charming theatricality here that whispers avant-garde.
I don't know if it
without
whispers.
Yeah.
shouting. It reminds me of the summer I spent in Poughkeepsie in
See, I knew.
1973.
I knew.
I was young and carefree.
I knew she was
and
going on one of these
believed in
tangents.
myself just a little
Kinda wanna
too
hear this.
much.
No.
I was working in a small flower shop, and there was this young man who
See, this is-
simply adored me. It was absolutely delightful. Well, it turns out that he made a rare discovery. It was this amazing plant that was unlike any other plant I had
Yeah, it's
ever
not going
seen.
anywhere. Is it weak?
It drew in
I told
people
you.
from far
It's just-
and wide to come.
So what did you think of the look?
I thought it was very Susie.
time,
So the
I was
resemblance
dating a
was there, the
gentleman.
character was there.
Not so much a
I
gentleman
thought
as
the
a
tapping, I
dentist
thought,
by
not again.
trade, and he
And the
wasn't
flats on the
very
mum
kind.
were very, very
In fact,
flat. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
abusive.
Anya's shaving her dad's beard. You can put that bitch in some heels.
And then other
What'd you
people I
think?
knew started to go missing.
I liked it, but it was
I
fine.
never did find
But
out what happened with that boy and his plant.
What?
Wait,
But I
what?
do hope that they found a place to live. Somewhere that's green.
That's what?
She's just doing Little Shop of Horrors, I think.
Does she think she's in Little Shop of Horrors? I wasn't listening, so I don't know what. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Robert thinks that her niece or nephew is right. Yeah, it's Susie Toot. She does Ellen Green. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, I like the look, but I like Max Fleischer cartoons, and I like that aesthetic and stuff like that. So I'm kind of a sucker for it. I thought it was cute. I thought I liked it. I thought it was one of the
Yeah,
stronger
I
ones.
mean, it could if Susie hadn't built herself up to be this fucking cuckoo bird, loving that sort of style, it would have been a cop out. But because that's built into her character, great,
Yeah.
smart.
All right, here we go. Next, we have Lexi Love. Lexi Love. Here we go.
Oh, what passion! The hearts, the corsetry, the candy-colored fantasy. It's all so wonderfully festive. There's such
Festive.
courage in embracing this much romance on one body. I admire the conviction, especially when it's shared between generations. It reminds me of the passionate years I spent in Paris as an opera singer.
What?
She
I
did
had no
opera?
experience
Yeah.
other than the fact that my father had been a violinist.
Oh.
Before he passed, he promised me
What is
that
she
I would be visited
what is she
by
talking
the
about?
angel of music.
I think she was going into intergeneral
It was
relationships.
then that I would discover my
She's a bit of a
true
trigger.
talent.
I don't know. Anyway, what did you think of this look?
Paris I went.
I
and
thought it was very Lexi. I thought the resemblance was there. Fucking Michelle. I did think it was almost so similar to the design look she did for Betsy Johnson. I was like,
And
oh,
didn't
I've
you
seen this
know
before,
he taught
Lexi.
me how to be
But
a
yeah, I thought she did all right. I thought she was, in the middle.
It was then and there.
I wonder what she said.
Bizarre set of circumstances I became
What?
an overnight success.
Bitch, this is
Not
Phantom of the
only
Opera.
that, I reconnected with my childhood crush.
You think so?
Raoul, the
Yeah.
Vicomte de Chagny.
There it is.
Okay. Okay. Do you think she knows? Okay.
She thinks she's Christine Daae. No, bitch.
Wait, she was just the girl from Little Shop of Horrors.
House.
Anyway, okay. I thought it was fine. It was fine. It was totally. In other words, it was safe.
Yeah.
It did its job. All right. Next, we have Sam Star. This is the winning look.
Okay.
Sam Star, the winning look.
Oh, dazzling. This is what happens when glamour and Americana have a baby and then send it to finishing school. The harmony between their silhouettes and styling is nothing short of inspired. I simply want to live inside this look's fantasy, assuming it has gated security.
What?
This reminds me of a moment in the 1980s when I took a job at a company as a secretary.
Since is it going to start over?
Secretary.
Oh no. So, she's saying she took a job as a secretary. She's done Phantom of the Opera. She's done Little Shop of Horrors.
What is this?
Do you think
Thoroughly
this is
Modern
fake,
Millie or
do you
something?
think it's real? I don't know. Do you think this is real or something, or what do you think it is?
No, I think those musicals are based on her life.
For a wretched man named Mr. Hart. At first, I had no friends because he was telling everyone in the office that he and I were having an affair. Well, after I confided in a couple of the girls at work, we...
Now, I'm not even talking about the look. We're just talking, I'm trying to figure out what things
Is it Chicago?
became fast friends. One day, we thought we had killed him. And we had this insane night where we thought we had stolen his corpse.
Is this 9 to 5?
It turned
It's 9 to 5.
out that he had woken up in the...
She's Dolly Parton in 9 to 5.
So we killed him hostage.
Okay, what did you think of this look? I'm not going to deal with this.
To know.
Yeah,
As if he
I
was
thought she
still
nailed it.
going
I
to
thought it
know.
was very Sam. The resemblance was there. They looked good. The outfits were good. It was a good job.
What a way to make a living.
Okay. Okay. Why am I falling for this?
I don't know, mate.
I'm now wanting to know what each one is. Now I'm like, do you think she and Blackstone are getting together and they're secretly laughing at me?
Yes.
I bet you Blackstone. Robert was saying it's her niece or something. I think it's Blackstone.
Oh, you think?
I don't know. Here we go. Next we have Sam looked fine. It was a little. Honestly, I didn't really like it. I don't like that aesthetic. I don't like denim. I don't like Southern. I don't like Western. I don't like anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, here we go. To be honest with you, I love Dolly Parton and who she is and what she stands for and love 9 to 5. I don't like her aesthetic. All right, here we go. Anya Nerve.
Oh, how daring. This juxtaposition of hard and soft is just so clever, like a couture yin-yang. There's an
See, I think she writes the fashion part, and then I think Blackstone is saying, "Oh, say this."
undeniable familial energy here, though I do wonder if they spent the holidays together lately. Still, I commend the storytelling, even if it's a touch interpretive. Speaking of stories,
All right, here we go. Okay,
Here we go.
here we go. Before we do this, what do you think of this look?
I thought it was a bit of a mess. She says that the look's outside her aesthetic, and I was like, yeah, it should stay out there. It was probably the least cohesive one. It didn't look great, but I loved her dad's attitude.
All right. Yeah, I thought it was a hot mess. Okay, now we're going to try and figure out what fucking she thinks she's doing here.
got one for you. Anya reminds me of this one friend I met in college. No one liked her because of the color of her skin.
What?
Wait. Friend she met in where?
In college.
Oh, okay.
No one liked her because of the color of her skin.
Okay. Trying to think of the Help or I don't know. What do you think it is?
Color purple?
Oh, Color Purple. Yeah.
Well, we became roommates and I didn't like her at first either.
Oh.
But then she grew on me. I tried to make her understand how important it was to be popular, like me. And she was one
What
of
is
those
it?
do-gooders who
Wicked.
always has to stir
It's
up
Wicked.
trouble. She decided to take her complaints straight to the wizard himself.
Oh, there it is.
And then she found out he wasn't so great after all.
Yeah.
She chose a different path than I did, and well, that ended the friendship for good.
Did you say for good? Do you think she knows what she's... Okay, here's the part. Someone is clearly writing that... Like, this is my theory. My theory is she writes the fashion part. She likes that. And then somebody is manipulating her and saying, you have to say this part. And she's just going with it.
Maybe.
And I think it's Blackstone.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think he just wants to fuck with the show. Okay, last one. Jules. Jules Sparkles. Okay. Watch, listen. I think the first part is her.
Okay.
Oh, how whimsical. These plush pastel ensembles are just so joyful, like if Fashion Week were held in a daycare in Aspen. It's playful, it's charming, it's possibly contagious. I support it wholeheartedly. For the Sparkles family and no one else.
Okay. That seems her.
It reminded me of...
Once the voice goes, you know, it reminds her of something. All right, here we go.
When I was just a darling little girl, living my truth in a charming pastel onesie. When I was violently abducted by a giant blue socialist and his one-eyed libertarian
I know what
roommate.
this is.
Okay, wait, what is it?
It's Monsters, Inc. because they look like fucking Sully.
Oh.
She's Boo. She's Boo. She's got to
Oh, okay. I never seen Monsters, Inc.
be. Okay.
So,
you haven't?
No.
We did the ride at Disneyland.
We did do the ride at Disneyland. You're right. That was the first time I'd ever been on it. Remember I told you?
Yeah. And you hadn't seen the movie beforehand? Wow. Okay.
They tried to pass it off as a misunderstanding, but I assure you, I brought warmth, grace, and emotional intelligence to that dreary little monster world. In the end, I saved their entire economy with love, and then they erased my memory. But I remember, darling. I always remember.
Did she whisper?
I don't know. Maybe it's not Monsters, Inc. It feels Monsters, Inc.-ish to me.
I don't know. What didn't seem Monster Inc. to you?
The erasing the memory.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I don't know, but they definitely did look like fucking Sully.
Oh, okay.
These looks were terrible.
Well, again, someone's putting Helen up to this, and it seems like something. It's giving Blackstone. I'm not gonna lie.
Or it could just be genuine. She's just got all these little stories that just happen to be like other media. I don't know. It's like, you know, in Slumdog Millionaire, how the kid knew every answer to every question because he had a personal connection. Maybe that's just like her.
Yeah. All right. Well, back on the main stage, Sam Starr is named the winner of the challenge, while Anya Nerve and Jewel Sparkles are placed in the bottom two, forcing them to face off in a lip sync battle for their lives. The song "One Thing" by Amory? I don't know. In the end, both queens were told, Shantae, you stay and live to see another day. Nathan Patrick Brown, any final thoughts on the episode?
Yes. I'm really glad that they didn't make them do like an extra thing, like a flag routine or a dumb dance. Yeah, sometimes they do that. Glad they didn't do that. I love Law Roach. Swap him out in place of Ross. And also Michelle. That thing about the no family resemblance with Lexi just really pissed me off because she was like, "Oh, they could be friends, they could be distant cousins." And I'm like, "Are you the one on meth, bitch? Like that's clearly her mother, you dumb cunt."
They look. In fact, no one looked more like their parent than Lexi.
God, it annoys me. And it's like, you know, you can just make someone safe or in the bottom or in the top. You don't need to construct this like fake bullshit critique every single time. So we're like, oh yeah, I guess she's in the bottom because Michelle said that one fucking thing. Like, you know, we're not that dumb. Ugh.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week and every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17. So, for Nathan Patrick Brown and myself,
sashay away until next week.
Thank you for listening to Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can also email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ+ content, support us over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This podcast was produced by Luke Stamen. You can follow Nathan Brown over on Instagram at NathanBrown90. Follow Joe Batance on Instagram at Joe Batance. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: April Pacheco, Astute Girl, Brad Coley, Derek Byers, Doofus Maximus, E. Smith, Effie Wap, Emma, Phil Skit Pony, Blind Suki, Humble Pie, J. Thomas Plank, Kathy Zender, Katie Whitmire, Lauren Eckert, Lucy Carrasco, Luke Stamen, Mary S., Mike Yeager, Nikki Baker, Nikki Pettit, Polly, Poppy Woods, Ricardo Herrera, Runner Brandon, Sarah Yu, Tom Bombs, Travi Cosmos, and Troy Anderson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.